going to get down to the tarot. Usually I do these in the morning-ish, but the evening seems to suit me a little bit better. But, I mean, today, you guys, whew, I don't know what the world is happening, but I have been on edge today. Holy anxiety. I mean, your guys' energy is just crazy right now. All the energy. So what I'm going to do is I usually start off by doing a collective. I'm going to go ahead and share this out a little bit too, just to get some people in here. Trying to get all the peoples. Oops, there we go. And if you guys would please share out the live as well, that would be lovely. Let's do this. Sorry, it takes a few minutes to get going. I just want to try and get some more viewers in here, guys. There we go. Okay, so how I usually do my readings is, first off, if you're new here, my name is Mary, and I am a physical and psychic medium. What that means is usually I can connect with your spirit guides and loved ones, and they try to do that with me physically. And what I mean by that is that your loved ones and all that come through, and they try to make me feel how they did when they passed away. So it can be very, very, very taxing on my body because it puts me into a lot of pain, unfortunately. But I try not to do those while I'm doing lives, just because it is very overwhelming. Because if more than one person comes in here at a time, you guys each have like 30 to 40 spirits that come with you, and I could have close to 1,000 spirits trying to connect with me at one time. So pardon me. I'm going to put a comment in here too. Just trying to get my numbers up so I can work with the algorithms. Okay. Thank you, Anna, for sharing. I appreciate that. All right. Hey, guys, if you're just joining us, I just wanted to give you a little bit of a rundown. I am a physical and psychic medium. And yes, I can connect with loved ones, but I try not to do that during lives just because it's very overwhelming for me. And Spirit tries to connect with me how they felt when they passed. So it can be very taxing on my body as well. And I'm having a bit of a flare-up today, so I'm not going to do any mediumship readings today. But I am going to do a collective tarot for you guys just to see what's going on in your general whatever. You don't need to ask me questions. You don't need to do any of that. You just go ahead and keep your questions in your mind. And this is a collective reading. So everybody that comes in now, everybody that joins later or sees this at another time, the messages are timeless. So they are meant to be heard when you hear them. But for right now, I'm going to do a collective reading. So take what resonates, leave what doesn't. And I mean, don't try to make it fit into your situation. Just if it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. But I always encourage people to have some paper and a pen with them, especially when I do private readings with people, because I have you take notes and put the date on it so that whenever you go back to refer to it, something may have made no sense now, but it will later. And I've been doing this for 15 years. It usually always makes sense later. I don't know if it doesn't for other people, because sometimes I don't hear from people again. But I've had plenty of friends come out and say, they're like, oh my God, you remember what you said during this, and this? I'm like, no. That's why I tell you to write it down. Take notes for yourself so that you can figure it out, and then maybe ask family members for details, because I'm sorry, I usually don't talk this much at the beginning, but Spirit is telling me for you guys to write things down, because things are going to start coming to fruition and making sense later. If it doesn't make sense in this moment, it doesn't mean it won't in like a week or a month. So I always encourage people, just take notes. Okay, so this is going to be for the collective. That means everybody in here is getting a reading right now. If you want a personal reading, I can do a 3-card quickie on my live. And my Cash App and PayPal is in my bio, and it's $33. So if you want to go ahead and do that, I will do a live reading for you after I'm done with the reading for the collective. Okay? I also have a website. It's also in my bio. So if you want to book a one-on-one reading with me, you're more than welcome. And I have different pricing options on there as well. So whatever you feel moved to do, follow your intuition and do what's best. Okay. God, Source, Universe, please help me connect with my spirit guides as well as the collective spirit guides so that we may hear the messages that you have for us in this now moment, only for our highest and best, doing no harm to any. Thank you and amen. What messages do you have for the collective at this moment? I know they have questions in their head. A lot of them are about love and relationships, I can tell. And a lot of them are about career choices and finance. So let's see what's in store for everybody. Let's go for Spirit likes detail. So let's see what's coming up in the next 3. 3's been huge lately, so we'll go with the next 3 days. We'll see what happens. What does the collective need to know for the next 3 days? So the first 3 cards I'm going to draw are for your current situation. The Wheel of Fortune. Luck is on your side. Okay. I'm hearing don't worry, beloved. They said beloved. The Star. A lot of you. That's Aquarius energy. Okay. So the Wheel of Fortune is definitely luck on your side. Whatever you're cooking up, or what I'm hearing, like putting effort towards, you've already done the work, and this is coming to fruition right now with the Wheel of Fortune. This is really, really awesome. And life is constantly changing, and there's going to be some big changes coming up for you very, very, very soon. But just because they're big, crazy moments does not mean that they're necessarily bad. The things that are going to be changing soon are absolutely wonderful things. I mean, it's going to be a rough, scary beginning, but nothing worth it is easy. So whatever you've been trying to put into place, whatever you've been trying to move on from or to, do it. Now is the time to do it. This whole cycle of the full moon, the super moon coming up the end of this month. We just had the new moon yesterday, but we're still within the energy. So right now is a good time for you to manifest, like focus on the things that you want to let go of, and what things you want to start exploring. And with that, this Aquarius energy right here with the Star. This is probably the best card you can get out of the entire tarot deck. it's highly intuitive. You see all this water right here? Oh my goodness. Like, usually if there's water in a card, it means high intuition, very intuitive, very spiritual, very empathic. A lot of you in here, I feel like, are empaths. And if you're not sure what that means, it means that you walk into a room and you can just feel if there's been tension, or if there has been like an argument, or if somebody's really happy. Like, you can just pick up on all the energies when you walk into a room. You can feel other people's energies. And sensitive empaths are, it's like on steroids. You can pick up on all kinds of stuff. And some of you have been noticing that coming in a lot lately. And you've been kind of questioning whether or not you have these types of abilities. You do. This is your right now. Don't even question it. Yes, you have these abilities. And this is the time for you to start checking into things and educating yourself. The Queen of Pentacles in reverse. So when a card comes up in the reverse, that means it's an internal issue and it's a personal situation that you're working on. Pentacles for me is finances. So I knew finances was going to pop up in this. It's been popping up in the last 3 weeks like crazy. So, sorry, I'm trying to listen. Amber. They're giving me a name for some reason. Amber, or amber is also a crystal. So amber is a good, it's a good thing to have on you, I'm feeling. So if I think your guides are telling you for like protective reasons and motivations, if you're looking into your abilities and all the other things that you're trying to figure out, amber will give you some clarity. And it'll give you some calmness and it'll take away the anxiety of it. And it'll let you be a little bit more authentic in yourself and learn how to start working with your gifts and learning about them without fear of judgment. I have a feeling a lot of you haven't been looking into this lately because you're afraid of what your friends and family are going to say. Guess what? Fair warning, I cuss. Fuck them. They're not you. It's not their life. It's yours. So, the World is another one. These are, so far we've had 3 major arcanas, which is interesting because, like I just said, 3. Amber's your sister's name? Awesome. See something. Maybe your sister's looking into that kind of stuff, girl. Could be. Oop. They do that to me all the time. They make the cards fly. Ooh. Don't pay attention to my chaos back there. 4 of Cups in the reverse. And... okay, that was way too many. Please, just one at a time. Spirit's very excited to talk to you guys. Okay, here we go. The Devil. Yes. Okay, this makes a lot of sense right now. Okay, one thing I will clarify. If you're new to this and you are new to me, if you're vibing with me, that's awesome. Please comment vibe. I need to know what the feedback is from you guys. And keep tapping the screen for some likes. I want people that need to hear these messages to come in and hear. Awesome. I'm so glad because I'm vibing with you guys too. Like, I'm feeling the anxiety from everybody, but it's calming down now. There's some calmer stuff happening. But I will tell you, there is no negative card in tarot. The Devil card is actually amazing because it means that you're cutting toxic ties and addictions. And the Death card, everybody's like, oh no, it is not physical death. It's not physical death. It is the death of a situation or the ending of a cycle. So there's no negative cards in tarot. It's all positive. So the World, very good. I'm hearing the world is your oyster. Make it what you will. A lot of you are limiting your possibilities, and it feels like a lot of you are scared to try because you're afraid. Like, a lot of you have been told your whole lives that you're not capable, or that you're, like, people have made you feel that way. Like, your opinion doesn't matter, you're not able to do this. Oh, congratulations, Maria. Is that how you say your name? Maria. I'm sorry. But congratulations. Good for you. And it doesn't have to be a childhood thing. It is a situation where you guys feel like you are made to feel minimal and smaller than. And it doesn't have to be a childhood thing. It doesn't have to be a parent thing. This could be a relationship thing, like a really toxic ex, like Maria. Okay. So this is definitely something that needs to be addressed as far as your own personal stuff with your Four of Cups and your Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. That is internal turmoil. And it's a lot of self-inflicted stuff too. It's like you hear these things a few times from somebody you're supposed to love and trust, but then you start to internalize it, and then it becomes like a broken record every day. And everything that you do, you feel like you're not doing it good enough. You feel like, I could have done that better, or blah, blah, blah. So now, the time that we're in right now, there are 7 planets in retrograde, which is absolutely ridiculous. I don't know if y'all have been feeling crazy the last couple days. Today was very strange. Oh, thank you, Candy. I appreciate the comment. And if I'm vibing with you guys and this is resonating for you, please keep tapping the screen. I want to try and do like a 10 like goal, or 10,000 like goal. So if you could please tap the screen, it just helps me work with the algorithm so that I get out there and more people hear these messages. So, and it's needed right now. I feel like everybody is going through this kind of stuff right now. I'm hearing therapist. Some of you may have already started seeing a therapist. I've been seeing one for the last 2.5 years because I was in a very dark place a couple of years ago. And I have been for a very long time, since I was about 17. So depression is a thing, man. And it's really tricky. They're telling me to tell you my story, but a lot of people don't want to hear other people's stories. So, it helps you guys relate to me though. And it helps you understand that I'm human too. And I am no means perfect. But a couple of years ago, I was in a very dark place. I had a very toxic situation with my son's father. We were not together, but he was living in my home. And it took me to a place I hadn't been in about 17 years. So I got very scared. I almost tried to commit suicide, but right before I did, my son popped into my head. And I'm like, what am I doing? I can't leave this earth. My son needs me. So I started talking with a therapist, and that's really been helping me see the situations are not as big as I make them. I have a tendency to over-exaggerate my situation sometimes to make it bigger than it is, and that's where my anxiety and panic disorder comes in. So, it's really helped me gauge my situation and really bring things back to reality and ground. Grounding is extremely important, especially if you're coming into your own spirituality. That is what needs to happen. So with your Four of Cups, that is personal healing. You're trying to refill those cups and build a foundation for yourself. But maybe a therapist will help. And if you've already been seeing one, good for you. I fully support that. And the Devil card, just like Maria did, she just cut off a toxic relationship that she knew no longer served her. And that's exactly what's happening right here. Some of you guys or people have addictions to sex, drugs, alcohol, those kinds of things. This is more of a physical toxicity, and you can be addicted to a person. It is a thing. So if you're in a relationship with a toxic person, it can be addictive because you have a connection, but at the same time, it's not good for you. So this is where you need to start balancing and figuring out what serves you and your purpose, because you guys are trying to move on and you're trying to find yourselves again and who you are, because like this whole situation with this person or these people has really made you lose yourself, and you've sacrificed a lot for these people and they don't seem to care. So it's not serving you anymore. Yes, Four of Wands. Go figure. Healing. Let's see. Okay. Yes, Three of Wands as well. Excuse me. The Queen of Swords is in reverse. There are 1, 2, excuse me, 3 cards in the reverse with 4 major arcanas. So this is big life-changing stuff, right, guys? Yes, I'm so sorry, Anna, but I mean, this is the season where everybody's starting to see, is this good for me or is this not good for me? This is the thing. So your Queen of Swords is communication. Okay, sword energy is communication for me. You've got to be kinder when you talk to yourself. And I'm not talking crazy people talking to yourself like you're sitting there and everybody's watching you have a conversation with 4 other people that aren't there. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about that inner dialogue that everybody has. This is the time to start learning how to love yourself better. And you've been putting in a lot of work doing that. And you're trying your darndest. But Spirit's trying to tell you that you don't have to try so hard, because they see you. They see you working. They see what you are doing. They see what you have done. And they're so proud of how far you have come. And I'm feeling like I'm almost welling up, because I can feel how proud. It's like the proud parent thing. Like, I've seen you go through these struggles, and I've seen you come out of these situations, and you still feel like you're not doing good enough, but you've got to take stock. And with your 4 of Wands here, this is a new foundation, okay? So the sun is right here, and the work is being done, and the sun is right there. So you're building the new foundation for the new you, or the original you that has been hidden away for so long. You're finally going to start letting it happen. If this is resonating with you guys, please keep tapping the screen for me. A lot of people need to hear this message. So I want it to work with the algorithm. So please keep hitting the likes. And then the 3 of Swords internally. So this is working right now on your current situation. Yes, exactly. Here's some real talk for a second. Okay, this is where the tough love tarot comes in. I'm not going to be a bitch, but I'm just telling you what your guides are saying to me. You're constantly looking for that next person to make you happy. Okay? If you've just gotten out of a relationship, or you've been out of one for a while and you're looking for someone because you don't feel truly fulfilled unless you have a significant other, they're not coming in for you yet because you don't have enough love for yourself yet. And if you don't start learning how to love yourself and take time for yourself and understand that you are allowed to have these things as well, that other person is just kind of sitting on the sidelines, just like, where's my person? You haven't done your work yet. So they can't come in until you're fully happy with what you're doing in your situation and you're fulfilled in every way, shape, or form. I'm looking at it this way. You are the one that creates your happiness. You are the one that can make yourself happy, okay? But once you get all of your ducks in a row, per se, you find the career of your dreams, you get an awesome side hustle, whatever it is you're trying to create, focus on that right now. I haven't worked with past lives just yet, but I plan to learn in the future. I have a feeling that's in a path for me. But right now it's just about trying to come out of the broom closet, for a better term. I'm myself coming to terms with that. I've been doing this for 15 years, but not everybody knows about it yet because you don't just walk up to people and say, hey, guess what? Your dead grandmother says she's proud of you. People freak out when you do that. So you can't really just run around saying, hey, I'm a psychic. Do you want a reading? Some people don't respond to that shit. So I'm learning how to do this gradually. So the more people that start following me, you know how it works with all of this stuff. So the more you tap, the more you comment, the more you interact with my lives, it gets, it gets me out there so that I can start sharing my gift with everyone else. And some people get snippy with it and they're like, oh my gosh, if you have this natural gift, why are you charging money for it? You're not a real psychic, you're a fraud. Okay, it's called an energy exchange. Okay, money is just energy. We give it way too much power when it comes to the value and how we let it rule our lives. Okay, money is a piece of paper. Okay, we need it to buy things, we need it to live, I get that. But at the same time, it also costs me money to do this because my cards are expensive, my supplies are expensive, I burn sage, I do incense. Sorry, this retrograde has been making me feel like I'm having strokes. And I've been all over the place lately. So it costs me money to have my website going so that I'm more available to you guys. I have a bunch of spices and candles and all kinds of things because, yes, I am a white and green witch. I'm also a kitchen witch. So I'm just a little bit of everything. I do all things. So it's expensive to keep this going. Supplies and all that stuff. I'm going to start making like salves and tinctures and teas. Like I was literally yesterday just called to do this. So I don't have anything for sale right now, but it's part of me as a healer. I've always been drawn to being able to physically lay hands on people and help them heal. So that is part of my spiritual journey, is to do that. But money is just an exchange of energy. So whatever energy you put into a situation is what you're going to get back tenfold. So I want to do this. I want to help people, but it costs me money to do it. And it costs me money to have my website, to get it out there to further people. And, my time is also valuable. I'm a hairstylist. I own my own business in the salon. And I also work in the film industry. I do a lot of things, guys. Thank you. So, it's just, I'm literally following what Spirit wants me to do right now. And because of how crazy it is, it's taken me in every which direction and I want to do it all at one time. But I have to remember to pace myself. Self-care, learning how to love yourself, trying not to overextend your situation so that you wear yourself out. Because then I can't do any of it if I'm down. So I would suggest, if you don't have any direction, you don't know which direction to go, what I started to do when I figured out, I've always known that I've had gifts, but I didn't know where to go with them or what kind of information I could get. And this was, I'm old. This was before the Amazon. So I had no idea. But there was always this shop down. It's a metaphysical shop down in the, oh, hey, 47, girl, I'm 36. What's up? So there's this shop I was always drawn to since I was a kid. It's a metaphysical shop, but I just thought it was pretty because it had all these crystals and this really pretty jewelry. And I loved going in there every time we'd go down to this area. And I just constantly, since I was like 11, I've always been going in there. And then just when I got older and I started having people literally tell me, you have gifts and you need to figure this out. I'm like, well, can you help me? They're like, nope, you have to figure it out. And I'm like, well, that's stupid. So it took me like 15 years to gather all of my information until I finally found a mentor, which that comes to you as it vibes with you. Okay, Anna, go ahead. Yes. Oh, New Orleans. I need to go there. And Salem. I need to go see my sisters in Salem. I'm dying. Yeah. Ooh, 4.3, 4.9, almost at 5,000. Guys, I'm almost halfway to my goal of 10,000. Keep tapping for me, please. Okay, so anyway, I started going into this shop, and if you're not sure which direction to go, find a metaphysical shop around you and go in there and just look around. Just see what you're drawn to, see what, it's almost like a tractor beam. Like you're just kind of like walking around glancing at stuff, and all of a sudden you're just like, what is that? And you just like naturally get pulled to it. That is your intuition guiding you to what you need to learn or what you should learn, or it'll give you a good idea of what type of gift you have. And if you want to know about the different types of gifts and all that stuff, get books, listen to audiobooks, look into mediumship. Maybe if that's not your jam, start with the basics though. Get into psychic or medium stuff and read about those informations, because they have different types of things that you can learn how to do to see if it vibes with you. Tarot has always vibed with me since I was a kid. When I was also a kid, I was constantly cooking and making up weird concoctions. I don't know why, but I used to make, I used to have one of those cheesy McDonald's like things that they had as toys for kids, and I had like a milkshake maker. I used to put milk and cinnamon in there and make milkshakes out of it and put it in the little cups with the straw, and I'd make people drink them because I'm like, oh my gosh, here. I always pretended like I worked in a cafe, like I was constantly serving people things. I've been an EMT. I'm a licensed EMT as well, so saving lives, physically healing people. It's just what I'm drawn to. Yes. I feel you, Denny. I have to really watch it when I go know that I'm, like this weekend, now through October 22nd, every Sunday and some Saturdays, if I'm not shooting a film or I'm on set or whatever, or at work, I will be at the Renaissance Festival in St. Louis, helping with the Wildlife Command Center, which I'm their main volunteer. I forgot I do that too. But that place is my happy place because they have owls and lemurs and kangaroos and wallabies and snakes and all kinds of fun critters. Are you? That's awesome, Anna. Yes, it's very mentally, like, this is probably why I am so, like, my chest, you could fry an egg on it right now. Because they started sending out the schedules for the fair and what shifts we've signed up for and everything, and I'm like, I'm gonna die, because there's gonna be so many people at these things, and most of them are gonna be drunk, and there's gonna be grabby children, and I'm just worried about somebody getting bit, because these kids love to run up and just poke a snake in the face, and I'm like, did they bite? Yeah. And then I go to them, I poke them in the forehead, and I'm like, how'd that make you feel? And they're like, well, I didn't like that. I'm like, yeah, that makes you kind of want to bite somebody, right? Don't poke a snake in the face. Anything with a mouth can bite. So it's just very anxiety ridden when we go and do these events, especially if there's going to be kids there. So yeah, it's crazy. But before I go to these events, like if I know I'm going into a crowd, I just tell Spirit, I picture a light switch and I tell them, turn it off until I tell you to turn it back on. And then usually I'm pretty good. So then when I come back and say, turn it back on, then I'm just like, okay, now I'm back in element. I'm in my home. I can chill. And then I have to do that at work sometimes. If we have busier days, I have clients in and out of my chair every day. I'm physically putting hands on people every day. So if I know they need some sort of healing, I'll tell them mentally, okay, flip it back on. I need to help this person. And then I'll do like an extra long scalp massage or something and try and like work with their crown chakra, just to kind of like help them relax a little bit more. And I've been told I have a very nurturing touch. So it's those kind of things with the gifts. Sorry guys, that was a huge tangent, but a lot of you are new to me, so I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of my background, just to let you know, it's a struggle trying to figure out. Thank you. I appreciate you, Kathy. You feel lost right now because I feel depressed, but I'm feeling numb. I don't know what's going on. It could be the retrograde right now, and it could be the supermoon energy. Everybody has been in a very crazy situation lately. And it's interesting that I pulled my Moonology deck. So we're gonna go with the Moon Oracle because this crazy moon energy, and it was just a new moon yesterday, so we're gonna look into what's going on. I've been having really good days. Same, I'm trying to let you know what's going on with me, Anna, because everybody's been in kind of a funk. I had a little bit of a breakdown last week. It was just, I haven't cried in such a long time. Sometimes you need that to vent. Oh, you're welcome, Amanda. If you guys are vibing with me, can you please share out the live? I know some other people need to hear these messages right now. I think this is another reason I'm feeling so angsty, is because I know tons of people need to hear this and I'm just not out there yet. But it's happening. It's coming. I just gotta be patient. I'm a very impatient person too. But this retrograde, there are 7 planets in retrograde right now, which usually just throws everything into haywire. But the thing about retrograde is it kind of like, as it's happening, it forces us to go kind of like in a backwards motion and then internally reflect. So when I vent, I feel judged and it doesn't help. That could be a you issue. And that's what I'm talking about with the self-deprecating thoughts and the self-abusive stuff. And I'm not saying you're doing it on purpose. I'm just saying this is what you've been conditioned to learn because of your upbringing or relationships you've been in. You know, we all are conditioned from a very young age to shut our gifts out because they're not good. Whatever. Crazy people. And we're taught to not trust ourselves. So the more you start learning how to trust yourself, the easier things are going to become because it's not their decision, it's yours. I used to be crippled by any decision. Like going to the store after work. I constantly felt like I had to ask my parents first because they were babysitting my son. And, you know, a 20-something-year-old adult with her own child shouldn't have to ask if she can go to the store after work. It's just a thing. I had to ask. I know it's a thing of respect and this and this and that, but it's like, can I just take an extra 10 minutes and run in and grab what I need and come home? That kind of thing. So it's constantly feeling like you have to ask permission for validation, for the approval, but the only person's approval and validation that you need is your own. So when you start learning how to trust yourself and you get into that mode of, I'm going to run here, instead of saying, I need to ask this person, I'm just going to tell this person, I'm running by the store, I'll be a few minutes late. I mean, within reason. If they have something going on, then you need to get there. But you don't have to answer to anyone. You are your own person. You are an individual. You have the right to take time for yourself. And that's what a lot of this needs to happen with Anna is, and everybody in here that this is resonating with. You guys need to hear this, because a lot of people say, oh, self-care, you need to do this for yourself, you need to do that for yourself. It's, oh, I don't have the money to do that, or this is so expensive, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't take any money for self-care. You can find ways. And I feel like a broken record because I've been saying this in almost every reading, but I'm getting new people every time. So this is a message that you guys need to hear. And this is what your guides are telling me. And I know people are busy. You have lives, you have husbands, you have kids, you have wives, you have significant other, you got all the things and work and all the stuff. It doesn't take anything to just spend an extra 10 minutes in the shower and just kind of like focus on, like, take deep breaths, like 2 to 3 deep breaths after you're done washing your hair, get all your stuff done, and then just sit in the warmth of the water and just let it wash over you and protect yourself. Like, pretend it's like a white light and you can feel it just engulfing your body with protection, God's white light. And then just feel the warmth of the water, feel how relaxing, and then listen to the water falling on you. The white noise will really, really help relax you and help center you. And it's grounding, because it grounds you into this now moment. It doesn't let you focus on the stuff that you need to get done for the day. Don't worry about how this bill's going to get paid. Don't worry about, oh, I have to put this event together, da-da-da. Just stop, listen to the water, because if somebody tells me to clear my mind, good luck. Rub a lamp, because it's not happening. If I sit there and connect with water, I just listen to the water, and I let it focus, and I just feel it on my, I feel it on my skin. Or if I don't have time for that, when I take the dog out in the morning, I kick my shoes off, and I walk through the grass barefoot, and I listen for just listen for certain things in your environment that are calming to you. I listen for the birds, I listen for the squirrels chattering and climbing up the trees with the, I just love listening to, I'm very connected with animals. So I love animals, and it centers me. So that could be something for you. Some of you need to get to an ocean or go sit by a river for a little bit. Water is very calming, and it helps with your intuitive gifts too. It helps grow and foster those things. And Maria, babe, if you feel lonely, this is where you need to start getting yourself involved in things. Because then you'll be grateful for that alone time. I've been single for 11 years. Wow, 12. God, I don't even know how long. Yeah, 11. So, I've been single for 11 years on purpose. Because from the time I was 15 to 25, I had never not had a boyfriend. I thought that I needed a guy to make me happy. Problem was, I was so busy conforming myself to be who and what they wanted me to be. I was losing myself and figuring out that I didn't know who I was by the time I was 25. I was like, I don't even know what I want. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know da-da-da. So I cut off, dating, and I focused on what I wanted to do, and I became an EMT. Well, first I went to, I became a certified nursing assistant first, and I worked in a nursing home. Loved it and hated it at the same time because I got so attached to my residents, that, gosh, sorry, I'm gonna well up. I got so attached to my residents, their family members were like sending me flowers and stuff on my birthday. Like, we got close. And then I would come in, and within 3 days, 7 of them would die. And you know that going in, but I wasn't expecting to get so attached. And I mean, I fell in love with these people. They were like extra family to me and extra grandparents. So it was just too hard. I couldn't handle it emotionally. And then I started working in the ER as an EMT. And oh my God, I love that job. That job was intense. But it was gratifying at the same time because somebody would come in flatlining and we spend 2.5 hours doing CPR and running the drugs and everything. And all of a sudden you get them back. And then they come walking in 3 months later, perfectly fine. It's so good. But then there's also a really crappy part of the job where you send people up, you patch them up, and you don't know what happens to them after that. So it's really hard, but it didn't give me enough time to get super attached to my patients. So it was easier for me to detach, but still keep my humanity. But I also started connecting with spirit at the time and learning about my gifts. And I started picking up on some of my patients' ailments physically. So there's a couple of times I had to be hospitalized because I was picking up on patients' ailments. I was 3 hours into a trauma. This person was really messed up. And I was stabilizing her neck. And all of a sudden I got this horrible stomach pain. And I was like, somebody's got to take over for me right now. I'm going to vomit everywhere. Sorry, this is really graphic. But I went to check in at triage, and they had me on a gurney. They had given me 3 hits of morphine within, I think, I was laying there for about 2.5, 3 hours, and they hit me with three units of morphine, and then some Dilaudid, and none of it was touching me. I was in so much pain. And the anti-nausea stuff wasn't working, so they're like, yeah, we got to get you back there right now. You're probably having a gallbladder attack. It's going to have to come out. And I'm like, oh, God, I don't need surgery right now. And then I was freaking out. So they get me back there. They do my blood work. They give me Ativan. Great stuff. Oh, my God, that made it all stop. And it was wonderful. And then they did an ultrasound on my gallbladder and everything. Blood work came back perfectly fine. Ultrasound was perfectly fine. I didn't even have a stone. They're like, we have no idea why you're sick. I'm like, okay. But I had to be hospitalized for 2 days because I needed 7 liters of fluid because I was so dehydrated from getting so sick. Thank you, Joseph. I appreciate the gifts. And then the second time, we were practicing EKGs on each other, and I felt a little discomfort, but I didn't really feel crazy. And we printed out my EKG, and the instructor was like, you need to go show this to Dr. Cundiff. And I was like, why? She's like, just go do it. So I showed it to him, and he's like, whoa, who's this? And I just kind of looked at him, and he's like, is this you? I was like, yeah. He's like, we need to check you in right now. I'm like, what? He's like, this is indicating that you have inverted T waves, which basically means it's a backwards heartbeat. And it was consistent with having a STEMI, which is a heart attack. And I was 25. So like, what do you mean? It looks like I'm having a heart. He's like, doesn't matter. We need to get you. They pulled me into the trauma room where the crash carts was getting. I was like, what is happening? Like, I was freaking out. So they admitted me. They did my troponin, my blood work, and all that stuff. They did a cardiac echo. They did a stress test. And yet again, everything came back fine. Like, he was looking at me like I was crazy. And he's like, how the hell did you have that kind of a workup and absolutely nothing is wrong with you? I'm like, aren't you supposed to tell me that? You're the doctor. So, so I did a little bit of research on these 2 situations. And as I was working in that trauma, I was standing on the wall next to the room where a lady got wheeled in. I had no idea. I just went back and researched a little bit and see what was going on, if there was any kind of things like that going on in the ER. And right as that started to happen to me, a lady got rolled in and she needed to have emergency gallbladder surgery. And the same thing, a few months later, went in. We were doing the EKGs, and when it was my turn, dude got rolled in, and he was having a STEMI. he was having a major heart attack, and I was picking up on his heart electrical activity. So I had to stop working in the ER because it was wearing out my body. And I hadn't learned how to properly ground by that point. So it wasn't good for me to work there yet, just because I absorb it too much, and I know how to kind of make it stop, but at the same time, like, I don't want to completely make it stop because that's part of my gift. Oh, I love Moldavite. It's very protective and grounding. I love that. I have, I forgot the name of this stone, but I bought it because it looked pretty and I loved it. It's not an amethyst, but it's a really pretty, it's not mother of pearl either. But I got it at a shop where I go to and I love it. I don't know, it could be. Oh no, you're asking about, I've never heard of Bonite before. I'm still learning a lot of things too, so I'm kind of still in my infancy with all this. But tarot's one thing that I know because I've been working with it forever. And then I have this ruby here. And this is just for bringing in love and clarify. Oh, thank you, Amanda. No worries. Go get you some rest. Self-care, babe. I'll catch you next time. Just go ahead and follow me and hit the bell so that you're notified whenever I go live, and then maybe we'll catch up. So yeah, and I also have my birth moon from my birth date, and I have black tourmaline. It's very protective. It is hot right now because I'm just picking up on all the vibe. Yes, thank you guys. I really appreciate it. Yeah, if it's late, you guys gotta work. Go to bed. Love you. Catch you later. I feel like I've been taking up the whole time, but I feel like you guys needed to hear this because it's kind of helping you relate and find your way on where you need to go with this stuff. So if you're confused about trying to figure out your own gifts, just start paying attention more because Spirit is giving you signs constantly. Mine is always butterflies because I love butterflies. Butterflies mean change and transformation. And a lot of other people, there's crows. I love ravens. Those are my favorite birds. But they're for wisdom. You know, I love owls as well. Things that you connect with, start looking into that. And if you want to work with a mentor or something, I have a great one. She goes by the Holistic Siren. Her name is Jackie. That's my mentor. She's amazing, and she's really helped me grow within the last 2 years that I've known her. So we've become really good friends, actually, too. But it's just that soul connection that you find with somebody, and that's who your mentor should be with, is if you connect with them spiritually and emotionally, that is the person you should be working with. But before you get into a mentorship or anything like that, just educate yourselves. Get some information on what's going on. And also, if you're trying to work through past traumas and you're trying to work through childhood stuff, and it's called shadow work in spirituality and psychology, actually. Shadow work is going back and adjusting to the things that have happened. Let me see. I just actually had a reading on Tuesday. Or no, today's Tuesday. Wow, guys, this retrograde is tearing me up. Last week, I did a reading, and we were talking about shadow work, and I am in the same boat with everybody. How do I do that? How do I do shadow work? What the hell is it? Like, I'm new to all this stuff-ish. So, I was just like, Spirit, please help me figure this out, because I know I need to do the work to get to where my blessings are, and I need to figure out how to do this. Please just give me the blessings of what I need to put in my path, please. What do I need to invest in? What do I need to figure out? And as soon as I ended my live, I went to go search through TikTok for some other things, and the first thing that pops up, I'm not even kidding you, first video that popped up was the shadow work journal. Of all things, I'm like, thank you. That was a fast response. But it's very cool. So I ended up linking it. It's in my profile. I have a shop, a TikTok shop for things that I have found on my journey. I just started, like, literally, guys, I'm just as new to this as you are. Like, not necessarily. I'm new in the aspect of I'm trying to build this entrepreneurship so that I can help you guys figure out how to help yourselves and how to get to your next level. I'm trying to help you guys level up. So what I'm doing is putting things in this store that'll give you tools that you can use to get to your highest and best. Shadow Work Journal is absolutely amazing. It tells you about the psyche, which is your mind. The father of shadow work was actually Carl Jung. He's a very renowned psychologist. What is shadow work? It describes it to you. It tells you. It tells you why shadow work is important. And it tells you how, above all things, finally something tells you how to do this. And it tells you, yeah, right here, how to do shadow work. It's right there. This is like the Idiot's Guide to Shadow Work. It's perfect. And it's small. Because I'm impatient and I don't like to sit there and do crazy shit all the time. For like textbook stuff. So it just tells you there's fill in the blanks. There's reflection questions. It gives you different exercises. The why. There's more fill in the blanks. There's gratitude exercises, gratitude list. A lot of you guys need to start working on your attitude of gratitude. Part of the reason you're not moving forward is because you're constantly worried about what you need to get done in the future and what things you need to achieve in the future, but you're not focusing on the things that you've already done. You're not being you're not being grateful for the things that you've already accomplished and patting yourself on the back, per se. Oh, there's a letter to yourself exercise, mirror gazing, journal prompts. So you go through and it tells you all these different prompts that you can journal with. And then after you're through the journaling part of it, there is getting to the root of your shadow. So the root of your issues. I mean, this thing is amazing. I highly recommend checking it out. And it's just, don't worry about the money. Because the universe gives you money and you're supposed to use it for yourself. Because they gave it directly to you. Yes, they do want you to give a little bit back. So if I get a small sum of money that I haven't really expected, I will use it for something that I've needed for my business. I will use it for more supplies for my potions and stuff. Or I will use it for my son. Because I love spoiling that little booger. But then if I'm at like a cash register checking out or something and there's like a little tip jar, or if there's like a donate to the Children's Foundation or whatever. 10K! Thank you guys so much for your support. I hit my goal. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. Go team, go. But you take a couple of bucks of that money that the universe put in your path and just donate to like the Ronald McDonald House or like a children's charity. Just like a couple bucks, maybe $5. I usually do $5 because, you know, they're kids. But yeah, and it's using what it's for, what the universe gave it to you for, is to help take care of yourself and make sure you're okay and your situation's stable. But then you have to give back as well, because whatever you put out, you get back tenfold. So if you're not putting anything out and investing in yourself, that's why nothing is happening, because you're putting these blocks on yourself by not giving yourself any support. And it's extremely important, guys. So I recommend checking this out and seeing, I think it's $20. It seems like a lot. That would seem like a lot to me because it's fine. But anyway, $20 and it's fine. It's totally fine. Because it's an investment in yourself and your future. Think of it that way. So don't worry about it. Just get the book and start working on yourself because only good can come from that. And highly recommend working with a professional. If you're in a very bad place, like I was 2 years ago, I highly recommend getting some counseling or talking with a therapist as you work on this journal because it can get heavy. And it can take you to a pretty dark, depressing area because you're going over these things that you've been suppressing for a lifetime. And it can get very heavy. So if you feel like you're going to need that support, I would contact a counselor and start having sessions with one that you mesh with, obviously. But this is all about getting right with yourself and right with your people. And if there's people in your life that are toxic, you need to cut them out because they're not doing anything to help you. Mentally, emotionally, whatever. They're just holding you back and it's toxic and it's not good for your purpose. And it's not fair to you either. So don't need to sit in that. Okay, Spirit, what kind of messages? We're going to use the Moon Oracle to close this out, guys. I'm sorry. It's been a very long rant with this, but I appreciate you for sticking it out. If you've been here since the beginning, I appreciate you for hanging out. Thank you so much for helping me hit my goal. We actually went over my goal. You guys are incredible. I love you. What messages do we need to hear going forward? What is the guidance? What is the guidance? These are kind of new. They're wanting to stick together. Thanks for the follows, guys. Luck is on your side. So I'm going to post the replay. Okay, I'm going to download this and I'm going to post it on my YouTube. If you haven't followed me on my YouTube, go to my bio and find it in there. It's in there. Follow my YouTube because I'm going to repost this. The very first card that came out at the beginning of this reading, if you've been here since then, confirm for me. Type confirm in the comments. New moon in Sagittarius, and it was just a new moon yesterday. We are still in the new moon energy, and I'm a Sagittarius, which is funny. But the first card we pulled in the tarot was the Wheel of Fortune. Luck is on your side. So that means go for it. Now is the time to get your booty moving. Get your butt in gear and start living for yourself. Live for you. Figure out who you are and what you want to do. Sorry, Spirit does that to me a lot. Another new moon card. And it's hilarious because this is the new moon in Virgo. You can't make this shit up, guys. New moon in Virgo. Sorry, it's hard to read that backwards and it's out of focus. A time to give rather than take. What did I just say? Woo! That is exciting. Time to give rather than take, which makes sense because it doesn't mean monetarily though either. Give of your time. Give thanks is what I'm hearing. Give thanks. Now is the time to give rather than take. So give thanks and appreciation for the life that you currently have. If it's not the best, that's okay. You have a place to live. That's awesome, Tiffany. I'm excited about that. Good. That means we're vibing. That's perfect. Oh my gosh, you guys. This is so wonderful. I'm so happy for you guys. You have a bed to sleep in. You have a roof over your head. You have food in your stomach. It does not take much to be grateful for Be thankful that you have air in your lungs every day. Be thankful for your family, your kids, your husband. If they treat you like crap, be thankful for them anyway, but know that you're moving on because you're about to cut some toxic ties. I'm actually in the process of doing that myself, so it's not an easy one. You gonna give me a card or what's up? So this is the guidance for the closeout, guys. They're being cheeky. Mischief. My guides love to mess with me all the time. Okay, thank you. No, this one goes here. Full moon in Virgo. You too, Kathy. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. You are good enough. This is crazy. Virgo, guys. This is Virgo season. And the new moon is in Virgo right now. So we have the new and the full moon, which means things are coming full circle. Things are coming to fruition and things are really, really circling around the entire, what is that? The phasing. All the phases are coming, you know, all through them. And then we have full moon in Libra. A win-win outcome is forecast. You are absolutely good enough. What have I been saying this whole time? The self-sabotaging talk, the self-doubt, not being able to trust yourself, not thinking you're good enough. Oh my gosh, you are good enough. I love this oracle. These were my favorite. They just give so much clarity. And then the win-win outcome. It's a win for everybody. Oh, Tiff, how interesting. How to get a reading. Okay, so there's a link in my TikTok bio. If you want a reading with me personally, we can do a one-on-one. I can pre-record it and send it to you, whatever your comfort level. But there's a website with different pricing options on there. So if you're... Okay, stop it. If you want a reading with me one-on-one, you're more than welcome to go check out the website and book something. And then we can figure it out from there. I'm closing out personal readings for this evening because it's 9:30. People got to go to bed and all that good stuff. But usually if I just start the live, I open up about 5 spots and then you guys can do a personal reading on the live. And I only do like a 3-card quickie. So, Cash App and PayPal are in the bio for that. But right now, it's too late for that tonight because I'm closing out the reading. Emotions are running high. Supermoon! Guys! Holy crap! I just said this! If you're new to me, sorry, I cuss. I get really crazy excited when stuff comes to... Oh my God. Thank you, Tiffany. I appreciate you too. I'm really glad I met you too. We've had 3 supermoons so far. 3 of them. 3 of them. Thank you, EJ. I appreciate it. It's about being your authentic self, right? I don't know if people are going to be ready for that, but here I come. Anyway, so we've had 3 supermoons so far. Okay? There's another supermoon at the end of this month. And I just said when I first started in the beginning here, I appreciate the gifts, Brittany. Thank you. I said, has everybody been feeling like everyone's crazy? People have been having breakdowns that don't normally have breakdowns. People have been crying. Depression's crazy. Like, emotions are insane right now. Especially that last full moon we just had was in Pisces. Pisces is a very emotional sign. So, holy crap. Like, this is just, you cannot make this crap up. You just can't. You can't. Just letting you guys know just that you just joined. Sorry, I can't talk right now. I'm too excited. New moon in Capricorn. Your hard work is paying off. Yes, I told you guys. I told you at the beginning. I'm going to repost this on my YouTube. So look for it tomorrow at some point or tonight. I might get it up there by tonight. I don't know. But I said at the very beginning of this, your hard work is paying off. It is coming to fruition. Even though you can't see it right now, it's happening. And Spirit is working on it for you behind the scenes. Because they're just like, with this, okay, I'm sorry. Please chill. They're like rushing me with information. Hey, the star. So, right now, this is the guidance for the message. Brittany, please stop spamming me with the same question because I'm not doing personal answers right now. This is for the collective. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. And then if you want a personal reading with me, I have a link on my bio. I'm going to repost this to my Facebook page or my YouTube page. So if you don't follow me on there yet, go ahead and follow me on my YouTube page. It's in the bio as well. I'm going to repost this because you're going to want to watch. This is a really long reading tonight, though. So, I mean, you can fast forward, whatever. But holy cow. Yes, it makes sense for you. My good friend has been in one as well. Everybody's been in a funk lately. I appreciate all the follows, guys. You guys are awesome. And thank you for all the likes. I really appreciate it. I had a 10K goal and we did 11K. So, hey, teamwork makes the dream work. But yeah, in the beginning of the reading, I said your hard work is paying off. It's all happening. It's coming to like October is going to be insane because all of the things, the seeds that you have been planting since the beginning. Yes, my body has been tired. Like, look at this. I've been flaring like crazy for no reason. And my nose is like, I'm being monitored as well for, it's been 3 years now, but they haven't officially diagnosed me with anything yet. But the last thing we've been tested for is lupus. So, yay, there's that. Anyway, but yeah, it's making my body flare like crazy with all these retrogrades and everything. Thank you. What was I saying? I was having a stroke. Oh, yeah. So, the main thing right now, like, October is going to be a huge month for everybody. Everything, you're going to start seeing the things pay off. Thank you, the star. I appreciate that. The things that you have been planting since the beginning of the year are going to start sprouting. And then next year, 2024, they're going to bloom like crazy. But I'm telling you these things because it's what Spirit is telling me. It's what I see. I see images. I hear things. Spirit tells me all these things. Same. I've got almost every single weekend and evening booked for the next 2 months. So if you guys want to get readings, I highly recommend you get on there now because holy crap. Things are going to start blooming like crazy next year and it's going to happen so fast. Now, I see things, Spirit tells me images, messages and all that stuff, and they make me see things kind of like pictures in a photo album. But these things aren't going to happen if you guys don't come the other way with it. Like procrastination. I'm the best at that. So if you stop sleeping on yourself and you look into this shadow work journal and you start clearing some of these paths that you have mucked up or people in your life have mucked up, October is my jam, dude. Fall is my season. You guys need to start sweeping and clearing and plowing your paths. Because right now, it's blocking you from getting to where your blessings are. So start working on this. If you're in a really dark area and you just don't feel healthy, like you can't pull yourself out of it, talk to a therapist or a counselor. I cannot stress this enough. I struggle with mental illness myself. I have anxiety and panic disorder and bad depression, really bad depression. I have suicidal ideation sometimes. But I've had this stuff since I was 17. So it's a lifetime maintenance thing. You have to constantly keep up with yourself. You're feeling off, Carmen, because there's a supermoon happening and it's in Virgo. And because the planets are in retrograde. There's 7 planets in retrograde right now, which is also meaning that you need to self-reflect. You need to go in and do some shadow work. This book will tell you exactly how to do that. And once you start working through those things and learning how to trust yourself more, your blessings are going to be coming in. And they're going to be coming in at a pace you never expected. Like, your life at this point next year could look completely different than it does right now. You could be in a completely different situation. You could be in a completely different place. You could be financially free. But you have to get out of your own way. I love you. This is Tough Love Tarot right now. Get out of your damn way so that you can get these blessings. Come on now. Yes, you missed it earlier because you weren't in yet, but I shared earlier. I'm not going to get into the whole thing again because it's just long. You can watch the replay on my YouTube. But I wanted to commit suicide 2 years ago. I was in a very dark spot, and my first break with that was when I was 17 and I was hospitalized for trying. I've tried 3 times in my life. Technically 4, but I didn't fully commit the last time. I didn't actually harm myself this time, if that makes sense. Because my son popped into my head and I was like, I can't leave him. This is stupid. What are you doing? Wake up. So I got a therapist and I started talking to a counselor. And I'm loads better, like so much farther than I was 2 years ago. And it takes a lot of hard work. A lot of hard work, especially looking at yourself in the mirror and figuring out, what did I do to trigger these situations? And then what was not my fault and what was my fault? Unfortunately, you don't fully heal, okay? Life is completely, it's a constant healing journey. People constantly ask the question, what is the meaning of life? I know you guys have heard that before. Why are we all here? What is the point? Blah, blah, blah. We're here to learn. Because on a soul level, there are different things you have to go through, lessons you need to learn at a soul level before you can become fully, what is the word? Spirit, tell me what the word is, please. I'm hearing angel level. So basically, like, they're showing me Clarence from from It's a Wonderful Life. You can't get your wings until you learn all those lessons, okay? So we're put through the situations that we have been through in our lives for a reason. It seems very cruel, yes. And I don't think that anybody deserves to go through anything that they have. But there's a reason we went through it. I know. It's terrible hurt. But, and it's very painful. But the whole point is to see how we handle it according to our free will that God has given us. Okay? He gives us free will as humans to decide on how we're going to deal with these situations. And we have guardian angels and spirit guides constantly around us, protecting us. And it's our job to make sure that we stay focused so that we can hear them helping us on our journey. They're not going to give us the exact answers because there's some things we're just not meant to know, because it's part of our lesson to figure that out. But if we ask them for help, they will give us the breadcrumbs that get us to our ultimate situation, our ultimate purpose in this lifetime. And then, boom, you've leveled up. You're going into another life to learn another lesson. So if you guys are having trouble figuring out what kind of gifts you have, you're very welcome, Car. If you're having trouble figuring out how to connect with your spirit guides and your angels, there's a lot of guided meditations on YouTube. I listen to those a lot, mainly when I sleep, because it's too hard for me sometimes to shut my brain down when I'm trying to meditate. So I usually do it during sleep time. That way I can actually, calm down enough to focus. But one phrase I like to use is people constantly free will their way out of situations that they were meant for. Because your ego steps in, and the first knee-jerk thing that happens when you try to make a decision, the first thing that usually comes to you is exactly what your guides are trying to tell you. But then the ego steps in and we constantly second-guess ourselves. Well, I don't know about that. Or, well, it's going to cost money to do that. Or this, or da-da-da-da. Like, the negativity is our ego that we put into things, or constantly questioning yourself. I still do it. I still do it all the time. I know I'm good at what I do, but I still am like, oh, maybe I shouldn't say that to this person. And Spirit's like, don't do that. You're here for a reason, and they need to hear these messages because you're the one that's able to do it. Okay? I am a tough love person. I am a tough love tarot person. My guides are tough love tarot, or tough love too, and they don't tell me things unless you really need to hear it. And you can come to me asking a specific question, and we may not even go over that question. We may end up just going into straight up what Spirit needs to tell you so that you can listen to what they have to say, because now they have your attention. But moving forward, Spirit came forth with some incredible messages for everyone tonight. You are good enough. A time to give rather than take. Luck is on your side. A win-win is in the forecast. Your hard work is paying off. They're literally being your cheerleaders right now. And some of you are like, yeah, whatever, it's bullshit, blah, blah, blah. Well, why are you still here listening? Why'd you even pop into this live? Why did you even watch this video on the replay? If this is bullshit, why are you still here? Clearly there is something that you were meant to hear. Thank you. How can you hear your spirits? Trust your intuitions. Here's a little test for you. Okay. Some people may not be able to audibly hear them. Sometimes it's a thought, or sometimes it's a picture or an image, or sometimes it's a smell. They interact with all 5 of our senses, especially the 6th one, which most people have. Everybody's born with it. We're just conditioned to believe that it's not real, but we'll get into that later. How I hear them personally, this is going to be different for everybody. Personally, how I hear them, sometimes when I'm half asleep and half awake, right when you start to drift off, I'll hear somebody literally audibly in my ear, because I'm in between situations. So I'll literally hear something right before I fall, and it'll wake me back up. Sometimes I remember what they say. I just know I heard a voice at some point. But I also have, there's 4 different clairs: clairaudient, clairsentient, clairvoyant, and claircognizant. I have a little bit of everything. Most of it is the claircognizance, which is just knowing. And clairsentience is feeling. Empathic. Sensitive empath, which means I could walk into a room and exactly know what's happening. I can meet someone and know exactly who they are and what they're about within 5 minutes. Some people are really good at keeping their veil up, though. They're brick walls, so sometimes people are really hard to read, but most of the time, I can usually pick people out real quick. But clairaudience, I have a little bit of that. Clairvoyance, it's not so much that I can see spirit, but they show me images. So I see certain things, and they give me symbols that make sense to me to convey it to you, to make it make sense for you. So it's validating for everything. Like my symbols for if somebody's coming through and saying that there's a big change coming, it's butterflies. Because butterflies have change and it's big metamorphosis and all that stuff. When somebody comes through as a grandmother, they show me a lady standing there with a sheet of chocolate chip cookies. Because it's like grandmas and cook. I don't know what the thing is, but it's funny, but it's the same. It's relatable, and it's something that I can relate with because you guys can. And maybe, you know, sometimes they show me that as part of a memory. And when they show me things that are like a memory, it's literally like somebody's sitting there, like your guides are sitting there with me, flipping through a photo book, like those old family albums when you used to actually print pictures out. And they're like, oh, look at this one. This was such a fun day. It's just like sitting with someone's grandparent and going through a family album. That's how they help me connect with you, is they show me images from when you guys had events and stuff. So that is just one of the ways that it works for me. It could work differently for every person. So if you want to know what your clair is, find a book that tells you about it. Find information on, like, Amazon has everything. If you're stuck, if you're confused, start Googling shit. Just start Googling it. And figure out, like, what you might be drawn to. Go to a local mesophit. I can't talk right now. Spirit is like, oh my God, tell him this. And I'm like, calm down, please. Go to your local metaphysical shop and just walk around the store, see what you're drawn to. If there's a specific tarot deck you're interested in, or if there's a book that jumps out at you, or a piece of jewelry, look into the crystals. And sometimes I don't encourage this, but I do like to go in, like if I'm drawn to a specific crystal, I will pick it up and see if I can feel the vibrations, and it's just about learning what, you know, because right now you're full of self-doubt because you don't know what's real and you don't know what's not. When you start learning the different things that pop up, you're going to be much more trusting of yourself to know that this is your gift and this is your spirit guides talking to you. And it's just don't question it. If somebody asks me a question, I immediately come up with yes or no. And they're like, well, how do you know? I'm like, I can't tell you. I have no idea myself. It's just what your guide said. I'm literally the messenger. When I'm channeling spirit, I go away for a minute. Like, I don't go away. My personality stays and my brain is there, but your guides take over and they're putting the words into my mouth that you need to hear, for lack of a better situation. It's so hard to explain. So you actually do this stuff yourself? It's hard to explain and convey, especially if you're confused and you don't know what's going on. I'm trying to ask them to give me words to help explain it to you so that you can feel better about the situation and be a little less confused. But I'm also tired. I'm getting ready to hop off here. I was going to do that like 20 minutes ago, but all you lovely new people came in and I'm like, I just want to talk to you guys. Because there's a lot of information you guys need to hear, but this live has been full of information that I hope is going to help you guys. So I'm going to repost this on my YouTube. So the link is in my bio. If just go ahead and follow my YouTube, you can watch readings that I've done in the last week or so. I literally just started going live again and literally just started posting stuff on my YouTube. So my YouTube is very new. And it's kind of fun at the same time too. Because, it's under my LLC, which is Haranormal Studios. A lot of you just joined. I'm also a hairstylist. I own my own business in a salon. And I also, I work in the film industry. So I just put it under Haranormal Studios because it encompasses everything that I do as a business. So, I also volunteer at a wildlife command center, so I'm constantly helping them with events. I'm at the center at least 2-3 times a month, helping clean. I have custody. We share custody of the sulcata tortoise. Thank you, Karen. That's one of my clients, actually. But I'm in love with this. I became her unofficial mom. I am the crazy tortoise lady over there because I just adore her and she's my baby. So when they are busy or out of town or whatever, she comes and stays at my house, and I made a little Airbnb for her. You guys can see all that stuff on, I think I posted a couple videos down on my TikTok. And I post, so I have different playlists. I have the Wildlife Center where you can see all the animals that we play with and that we take care of and rescue and all that stuff. And then there's a playlist for my tarot readings, so you can go in there and backtrack and see whatever you want. And then some of my film stuff is on there too. So I'm slowly building. I just started really getting into this last year, so a lot of this stuff is starting to just, like I said, all the stuff from last year and this beginning of this year, you've been planting the seeds and working your butts off, and it's going to start sprouting in October. Like, oh my goodness, like you're going to start seeing stuff working at a really fast pace. But you've got to get out of your own way, and you have to start researching, educating yourselves on things, and figuring out how to work through those issues so that you can get your blessings. They're waiting. I see your spirit guides. I'm picturing, they're showing me a football field, and they're all sitting on the sidelines, on the bench, and their arms are like full of packages. They're like, man, I wish they would go see that therapist already and start working on their shadow work, because we got all this stuff for them, and they're just sitting there getting in their own way, not moving forward or anything. They're waiting to bless you guys, but you've got to do the work first. You've got to do the work first, and you have been without realizing it. You are moving on, and you're doing great things, but you've got to work. You've got to stop sleeping on yourself and get motivated and start doing some self-help stuff, guys. But yeah, speaking of that, I need to go take care of some me time. I need a shower because I stink. I worked all day. Sorry, you didn't need to know that. But thank you, Kathy. And I'm going to do some self-care. I'm going to meditate a little bit and relax and eat, because I haven't eaten yet today either. So I need food. So I love you guys. I'm going to repost this on my YouTube. Go ahead and follow that. And then I love you. I will see you in a bit. I might go live tomorrow. I'm not sure. Consistently, I'm going to try and do Mondays and Fridays for sure. And then I might keep popping, but this next 2 months is going to be absolutely insane for me. So if I'm not on as much, I'm at least going to try and post one video every day or something to that nature to keep you guys in the loop. Okay? I love you all. Thank you so much for joining me and sticking it out for this long live. And I will catch you guys on the flip side. Go ahead and follow me and hit that notification button so that you know the next time I go live. I want to see your faces again. All right? Love you guys.